Kojo, we have to go to another important issue because over the last 3, 4, 5 days, many Ghanaians have been engaged in conversations about the Russian sex tourist. He's been in Ghana and he's been posting videos. And already the communication minister, Sam George Nate, has been speaking about it. We hear that. But we've been joined on the phone by a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament and also Member of Parliament for Okankwe Central, Patrick Boamah. Good morning and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning and thank you very much for your time. Good morning to your listeners and the good people of Okankwe Central.
Great. Before we get into any discussion, let's just listen to the communication minister, Sam George Nate, on what they intend to do.
In this instance, I'm sure you're referencing the Russian gentleman who came into the country. Yesterday, I caused the ministry to send an invitation to the Russian ambassador. I intend to see him this week and have a conversation with him. We're taking a very strong view of it. The individuals involved are not minors. None of them is a minor. They're grown-up adults who made decisions. What the Cybersecurity Authority is interested in, and my ministry is interested in, is not in the moral judgment of the individuals. It's in the non-consensual sharing of the videos that were posted online. That is a crime. It's not a crime to be able to convince a man or a woman to go into your room with you in 6 minutes. That's not a crime by the law. That's a personal decision to make. But it is a crime to record a person without their consent. And even when you record and keep it on your phone, and the person finds out and reports to us, we will prosecute you and you go to jail. That's the law of the land. Now, you don't just record it, but you go and post it on a website for financial gain. That gentleman will be looked for. We will activate every resource in our disposal, working with Interpol. The way we've worked with Interpol to extradite Ghanaians to other jurisdictions, we will request the Russian authorities, and that's why I've invited the Russian ambassador, to work with our law enforcement. We want the gentleman to come to Ghana, to be brought back to Ghana, extradited to Ghana, for him to face the rigors of our law. Ghanaian citizens, irrespective of their decision-making, will be protected by their government. The government of John Dramani Mahama will ensure that every citizen's rights are protected.
So that's Communication Minister Sam George. Honorable Patrick Boamah, so that's Communication Minister Sam George. He says he's spoken to the Russian ambassador and that the people of Ghana have to be protected, irrespective of what they may have done right or wrong. And this man should be brought to Ghana to face our laws. Good step.
Thank you very much. It's very important to put certain issues in context.
Okay.
First of all, the Russian embassy in Accra deals directly with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on matters like this. So I think the very best route to have used was the foreign minister inviting the Russian ambassador for a discussion in the presence of our communication minister. That is what I know is the diplomatic channels that we use in matters like this. Secondly, has there been a complaint by any of the victims to the police? That's a question we must answer. Thirdly, has there been a charge against the Russians? Because there has to be a charge before you can trigger, if even there is a possibility of extradition. And I want to put on record that Ghana and Russia do not have an extradition treaty. A treaty simply means an agreement between two countries in writing. Let me simplify it. The last time I checked, Ghana does not have an extradition treaty with Russia, because Ghana has the Extradition Act of 1960, I think, Act 22. Fourthly, there is this convention that Ghana ratified in 2019, the Budapest Convention on Cyber Crimes and what have you, and some additional protocols that we further adopted in 2023.
Mm.
Russia is not a signatory to both the Budapest Convention and the additional protocol between Ghana and the EU.
Okay.
So, on legal lines and strict legal terms, it will be difficult for you to trigger extradition processes. Because, first of all, there hasn't been any complaint by any of the victims. Two, the AG has not preferred charges against the Russian. Three, we do not have an extradition treaty with Russia. Fourth, Russia is also not a signatory to the Budapest Convention on Cybercrime. Last but not the least, the Cybersecurity Amendment Bill, which I believe the minister was talking about, that seeks to incorporate certain aspects of these issues so that we can criminalize some of these activities, has not been laid before Parliament. So I don't know which other mechanisms, and I don't believe the Russians are in a position to waive their rights to extradite their national to Ghana. That is for the Russians to do, but I've laid a basis for which I believe it will be very difficult to go on that tangent.
But there are those also who have suggested, for instance, if we charge the Russian and we issue an alert, say if Interpol to bring him to Ghana, while we may not have an agreement with Russia, wherever he goes again to do this, he could be arrested and possibly made to face the law. What about that?
That's correct. Wherever you find this Russian, if Ghana has a extradition treaty with that country, or some form of arrangement with that country, that person can be brought. But there has to be a complaint and there has to be a charge against the Russian. As we speak, I haven't seen any charge sheet and I haven't seen any complaint from any of the victims against the said Russian.
Okay, so you're asking that the right steps be followed and right things be done.
Correct. That's correct, please. Because lawyers, as you know, us will go to court and raise those issues and just knock you out on technical grounds.
Well, because you're part of the Foreign Affairs Committee in Parliament, just this morning we've spoken to the Interior Minister. He told us about how 7 Ghanaian men lost their lives in the terrorist attack in Tetao. 2 seriously injured, and 2 men seriously injured, and another woman seriously injured. The rest on that track are fine per his own checks and dealings with the authorities in Burkina Faso. Any thoughts on this matter?
Thank you very much. This is a very unfortunate situation, and our heart goes out to the families of the deceased and also those injured. And I know government will take some very important steps to bring them home, and the right steps be taken by the family to bury them, and also to offer the right support to the injured. So let me, on behalf of our caucus, also express gratitude to government for coming out with a statement to update Ghanaians on the happenings there, because they went to Burkina Faso to pursue genuine business and they were caught up in this crossfire. So it's very unfortunate, and I want government to take the right steps and also to engage Burkinabe brothers to take the right steps to protect Ghanaians and Africans who go across borders to trade, because Ghana and Burkina Faso have had very good relationship for many years, and they should not jeopardize our relationship with the people of Burkina Faso.
All right, Patrick Boamah, thank you very much for joining us this morning.